ones, you and I verse. We're gonna do a video on the moon in Libra with the sun in Scorpio. But first of all, we're gonna get into the music. You know what I'm saying? Vibe out.
What I stand for, and that's the power that I truly don't stand for nothing, bro.
Dum dum dum. The lessons of life, walking a tightrope underneath the microscope. I begin to end the hopes. Physical and spiritual split. Eyes closed, eye open, aspirations. This matter is foreign, never before seen, but path is foreseen. Stairway to heaven, we elevate again. Matter at hand, does man even care for the land? Open up fluoridated eyes, attempts to block in sixth sense, calcification of a true life. This my birthright, what I was born with, my essence, born to defeat the misconception. They blocking our chakras, this melting pot like molten lava. As to imitate, you don't hear nada. It's how one I see it. Ask a God body, did you know he's nobody? Ask a God body, did you know he's nobody? It's how one I see it. It's how one I see it. Sunrise, gotta get it again. Verse 24 to make aura. Repeat it again, crystal clear. Eyes sitting on top of foreheads, memorialists, Los Angeles, Sagittarius, they shooting stars in the sky. But the sky's the limit. One love, Stilo, I know. You living in our spirit, I know. In the sky, I possibly beside, immortal I be. Time didn't exist until you let it. I'ma need some letters to cope. This the rhetoric. Watch yourself. Vision of three. Third person knowing nothing so they know I can see. God, we divulged in no less knowledge in abundance. Write your own raps, make it on the table, but the mental still trapped in staples. You may sip and variantly shift the moon to the seas, flow evolve, never eroded. Shit, we encoded what it's like. Do you need me to reappear again? Sapient, but my soul is infinite. Might have many sons or mother living under one solar eclipse when the artificial moon steady drift. Alright, y'all, we're gonna get into it. We got the moon in Libra with the sun in Scorpio. I'm gonna be breaking down all the astro weather report. So essentially, I'm gonna get into the moon conjuncting Lilith, right? And shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Penguin Produce and and shout out to the troll in the chat as well, you dig? But yeah, I'm saying, give me some watch time, some watch hours, and make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. And whenever you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell as well. You feel me? So you can be in tune with the movement you need to be in tune with. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I go live, you can go ahead and get all the information and all the awareness that I'm gonna be producing, right? So we're going to get right into it, right? We got the moon conjuncting Lilith. And keep in mind, Lilith is like the darkest moment or your embarrassment, essentially. So essentially, you could be embarrassed at this point in time, or you could allow your relationships to put you in a space where you're uncomfortable and things of that nature. I'm going to go ahead and keep on letting the music rock in the background, you feel me? And this is just some music that I done made, you dig what I'm saying? And yeah, you know what I'm saying? So if y'all can hear that, y'all can hear that. If you can't, you can't, you know what I'm saying? I might turn it up a little bit. Here we go. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? This is off the Origins album. I'm going to go ahead and play the Origins album in the background. But like I say, moon conjuncting Lilith, right? Both being in Libra. Libra's all about balance. So essentially, you're trying to balance your relations and relationships might put you in a space that might be embarrassing and things of that nature, right? Moving forward, we have the moon sextile in Venus, and Venus being in Sagittarius, right? So Sagittarius is all about expansion. It's all about pretty much like fight or flight. So Venus is in a space where it's like if you're trying to get in a relationship or value something or create more value for oneself, so essentially like money, you're going to be in a space where you're trying to actually venture out and make that happen for oneself. Or you're in a space where you're trying to escape. So keep in mind at this point in time, based on the moon being in Libra before we have the the new moon being in Scorpio, it's in a space that you're trying to balance things and keep certain circumstance situations in a space where you can actually be relative towards your values and your relationships. You know what I'm saying? So keep in mind whatever you're trying to relate to at this point in time is going to put you in a space where you're trying to value your actual knowledge and wisdom and experience in either fight or flight based on Venus and Sagittarius, right? I'm actually going to go ahead and pause this so that way I can focus and y'all can focus as well. You dig? But yeah, moving forward, well, keep in mind, like I say, the sextile is a 60-degree angle or seeing the opportunity. So essentially, Moon in Libra, we're going to be balancing our emotions to see the opportunity to actually value our fight or flight or our experience or our morality, things of that nature. I'll go ahead and read the chat real fast, you know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, shoot, I got some trolls in the chat, but I ain't tripping. You dig? At the end of the day, y'all could go ahead and hear the message as well. It's gonna go ahead and be into your subconscious, anyways. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be influenced, so I ain't even tripping. But yeah, moving forward, we have the moon squaring Pluto and also Mars, right? So keep in mind the square is a 90-degree angle, and it creates this pressure. So essentially, either you learn in the beginning or you allow yourself to learn from this circumstance situation, or you're forced to learn. So essentially, how I like to break this down is like Pluto, for example, squaring the moon. If Pluto makes you learn, you're going to be going through a hard circumstance situation or a deep transformation. So essentially, you're going to have to be feeling comfortable with whatever you're relating to based on your emotions and essentially balance those emotions to then in turn learn how to transform and change your status or what you're known for and things of that nature. And that's the Pluto alignment, right, to the moon. Then we also have Mars being in Cancer. And keep in mind, Mars doesn't do too well in Cancer because you essentially have to feel comfortable with your passion or your intentions and things of that nature. So essentially, Moon being in Libra, right, squaring Mars in Cancer, we're in a space where we have to learn how to balance our intentions based on our emotions. So essentially, if we're not feeling emotionally passionate about things, we essentially have to learn to balance those things based on our emotional state as well. So in turn, if you're an individual that can't balance your own intentions or your own passions and things of that nature, you're gonna be forced to learn that at this point in time. So essentially, like, don't get too passionate to the point where you want to slide on somebody, you know what I'm saying, and make some things happen in the streets. You know what I'm saying, if you're not actually being able to balance that relationship outside of that and things of that nature. So it's like pretty much what I'm trying to explain is that I'm kind of going into a real aggressive circumstance situation, but I mean to say, like, if you're not feeling comfortable with your relationships or what you're relating with at this point in time, you essentially need to balance those passions or whatever you feel comfortable with based on those intentions. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward, we also have the moon trining Jupiter, right? And the trine is creating a 120-degree angle or the gift. So the moon trining Jupiter is going to be in a space that we're going to be feeling comfortable with our relations, but essentially having the gift to expand our circumstance situations based on the comments or conversations that we deal with and things of that nature. I say comments because I seen somebody comment something real quick that you know, so at the end of the day, I got some trolls in the chat and I ain't even tripping on it. You dig what I'm saying? I got some people talking crazy, but that's just normal to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't even be tripping off y'all. Because at the end of the day, y'all be on my chat and on my videos instead of doing your own videos and, you know what I'm saying, improving your own circumstance situation. So at the end of the day, who's really at fault? You feel me? Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You know what I'm saying? Bro was saying some negative stuff, but now he's saying some positive stuff. Bro got the change. Get it, cuz? You dig what I'm saying? You're. But yeah, at the end of the day, shoot, it's just a little bit of my representation of, you know what I'm saying, how far a young man came. You feel me? Just a little bit of my representations. But yeah, like I'm saying, so Moon trine Jupiter, we're going to be feeling comfortable with our relations and relationships to essentially have the gift to expand our circumstance situation based on whoever we converse with or our people in our neighborhood or our immediate spaces, right? Excuse me. Keep in mind, Gemini is like our conversations or our communications or seeing both sides of a circumstance situation. And based on Jupiter being here, we're able to expand our circumstance based on actually communicating with the right individuals. People just talking wild stuff. At the end of the day, we really want to look at it like this is the balsamic phase. And it's interesting. Dude said it's a crescent moon and eighth phases of Sagittarius. Uh, yeah, dude just talking some regular, I'm saying regular stuff. At the end of the day, um, where we're at right now with Moon in Libra, Sun in Scorpio, we're dealing with the end of this waning phase. So we're in the balsamic phase before we actually experience this new moon. So essentially, you want to relate with the proper things or feel comfortable relating with the proper things to actually put yourself in a beneficial space before we experience this new moon in Scorpio and the Sun in Scorpio, right? Yeah, shout out to Denver. You know what I'm saying? I got love for y'all in Denver. I got some family over there and all that. You dig? But moving forward, last but not, pardon me, we got two more alignments. We got the moon in conjuncting, then we also have the moon opposing, right? So the moon in conjuncting Saturn, Neptune, and also Uranus. We're in a space where misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, us feeling comfortable balancing things, we may misunderstand what we actually need to build on based on our dreams or our illusions and things of that nature, and also our faith, right? So building on our own faith, we might want to, relate with other individuals to a point where it's kind of a misunderstanding. Like we don't actually benefit based on you trying to relate with too many individuals, and you're not actually balancing. You're not actually building on your dream and things of that nature. So don't put yourself in a space where you're trying to relate with everybody and you're not actually building on the dream or illusion or a circumstance situation that you want to see come to fruition. Individuals say how much to change, the more that you can spend, you feel me? But moving forward, we also have the moon in conjuncting Neptune. But I don't mean to be talking crazy. At the end of the day, some of y'all could afford this. But yeah, shout out to y'all that I want to go ahead and put on for y'all city, you feel me? And shoot, it costs a little ticket. We'll just put it that way. We also have the moon in conjuncting Neptune, right? So Neptune is also at home, being in Pisces, right? So keep that in mind. So essentially our dreams, illusions, and nightmares are in a space that it's at home, right? But us trying to be too relatable based on our emotions, we might put ourselves into space that we can't actually see our dream properly, and we're actually trying to relate to other people's dreams at this point in time. That's kind of what creates that 150-degree angle, that misunderstanding, right? So don't put yourself in a space where you're trying to relate to other individuals too much to a point where you're not actually go ahead and achieving your dreams, right? Last but not least, in the in conjunction space, I'll salute you, Tommy White. You see what I'm saying? I appreciate it. Thank you for the compliment. Uranus being in Taurus, right? Uranus is individuality or unexpected experiences and things of that nature, like kind of like a lightning like change, so to speak, right? So essentially, Uranus is being, Uranus is at home being Aquarius, which is I'm going to keep on saying pardon me, I'm saying my fault. But Uranus is at home in Aquarius, and Aquarius is essentially predictably unpredictable, right? But Taurus likes to be grounded and likes to be kind of predictable or kind of consistent, right? So we're trying to be consistent upon our own individuality, right? We may misunderstand things based on the moon being in Libra, right? We're trying to balance our own relations or relationships compared to this Uranus energy that's trying to, ground this individuality. So don't put yourself in a space where you're not being true to oneself and you're trying to relate to other individuals to a point where you can't actually ground your own individuality. Is pretty much what I would explain to y'all, right? Last but not least, we have the moon opposing the North Node and also Chiron. And the North Node and Chiron are both being in Aries, right? And Aries is all about the individuality or being the first to do something and finding your own initiating creative vision, essentially. So, right? And the moon being opposing to that, right? We're in a adding on or opposing space. So based on our relations or relationships, we can either add on to our individuality based on our uncomfortability. And this uncomfortability creates growth, right? Based on the North Node, right? So these individuals around us that are either making us feel comfortable in this relationship are either adding on to our individuality, or we're trying to conform and things like that. So you can either add on or oppose to that. Keep that in mind. And then Chiron also being here, Chiron is kind of like the wounded healer, or being in a space that you've been thrown so many arrows at, to a point where you've been hit, right, by one of those arrows, but now you're a little bit more wise upon where the arrow is coming from, so to speak. That's kind of like a breakdown of where you can see it, right? But Chiron being in Aries and your individuality has been hit and things like that. So essentially, if these people that you're feeling comfortable relating with aren't adding on to your own individuality at this point in time, you're kind of being a little bit more wise at this point in time. Individual asks how many chains I got on you. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. You dig? But yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and break down the rising signs and first house and ascendant signs next. So y'all go ahead and tap in with that. You know what I'm saying? Peace and love. You believe in all that. You know what I'm saying? You go ahead and check out my description. Hit me in the email if you had any comments about this live or questions, or go ahead and hit in the comments as well. You're saying if you had anything to say, or let me know what house you're dealing with the moon in Libra, so we can go ahead and tap into this next video and things like that, and I can kind of, you know what I'm saying, get into it and things of that nature. And also, if you hit me in the email as well, I got all kinds of readings available and things of that nature. And I'll go ahead and send you a menu whenever you send me an email about what kind of reading you're trying to get, things like that. So yeah, peace and love. If you believe in all that, stay safe or stay dangerous, whatever's necessary. Go ahead and tap in with this next